Hello guys, welcome to the Spring tutorial. So today in this session I'll be going to cover one of the Spring model, that is Spring MVC. So as a part of this session I'll be going to cover some points about Spring MVC, like what is Spring MVC, then what is the flow of a Spring MVC. Apart from that I'll be going to create one demo application step by step. So let's start talking about first topic, what is Spring MVC here. So let me go to the second slide. As I mentioned here, Spring MVC is a Java framework. That means it is developed in Java, correct? Which is used to build the web application. That means this Java framework, okay, that Spring MVC is used to build or create your application, web application. Okay. Now question is that what is web application here? The web application is like application can be accessible over the internet. Suppose we have Amazon will be there, Flipkart will be there. So these are the web applications. So we can access those applications over the internet. Okay. Apart from that, let's talk about the what is the MVC. So MVC is a design pattern. As I mentioned here, it follows the MVC design pattern. That means model, view, controller. So now let's understand the what is model, what is view, and what is controller. Now, suppose let's understand this concept through this diagram here. So I have a Chrome browser here. Okay, and what is my requirement here? I want to buy one cloth. That means I want to buy one T-shirt here. Now, what I'll do, I'll open the Amazon here, and I'll search my criteria. Like I want black T-shirt, then my size XL, and price, whatever price I like as per my budget, I'll give the price there. Okay, so this is my filter, or this is my criteria. I'll put there in search bar, and I click on a search button. Now what happened internally, I'll show you like what happened. So whenever I enter something in a search box, okay, so I entered t-shirt color, then I enter t-shirt size, I enter t-shirt price. Okay, so how it works? So these values, whatever I entered, whatever criteria I entered, so those values map to this model. Okay, map to this model, and that model sent to controller, that model sent to controller through the request, http request. So whatever criteria I entered on the search bar or in the search bar, so those values get appended, or those values get mapped to the particular model. Model is nothing but your class. Okay, model is nothing but your class. Now when those values get appended with model, so this model will get sent through the request to the controller. Now what is the use of a controller here? The controller process the user request. Whatever data I enter, whatever criteria I enter, so that appended to the model, and that model is sent to the controller through the request. Now, so whatever data I entered here, so this controller take and process the data. Okay, so that request getting processed by controller here, and whatever result will be there. Okay, whatever result will be there, so that result will get passed to the view. As I mentioned here, pass them to the view. Okay, and further rendering, so that view will get rendered to client. Client is nothing but a Chrome. Suppose I enter something here, so that values get appended to the model. Model will be sent to the controller. Controller will process the data, and whatever result will be there, so that result will get like we are going to that append to the view, and view get rendered to the like Chrome here. Okay, so now, so this is a journey. So that is called a model. Model mainly used to encapsulate the application data. Okay, then model is used to encapsulate the application data. That means it binds the application data. Okay, suppose take example, we have product. Okay, product having product ID, Suppose we have a product class. Let me enter it here. Class product. Okay. Now that class product having a multiple values like a PID, product ID, then P name will be there. Okay, so these are the values. Then P size, then P price. Okay, so these are the parameters. These are the application data it binds under the product pojot. Okay, or model. We can say this is a model. Product is a model, and we are encapsulating these values like product ID, then product name, product size, product price. So these are the values, or these are the data we are binding inside the product pojot or model. So this is called the model. And what is the main intention of a controller here, and what is the main responsibility here? The main responsibility of controller is to process the user request. Okay, it will process the user request and pass the result to the view, hand over it to the view, and view is responsible to render it on your screen, on your browser, something like this. So this is the way we are using the model view controller design pattern to develop your web application by using the Spring MVC. Okay, now let's discuss the diagram actually how Spring MVC work. What is the flow of a Spring MVC? So let's discuss here. Now if you can see here, this is the flow of a Spring Web MVC. Okay, now everyone having a home, okay, their home, and each home having the main door. Okay, each home having their main door. From there we are come in and come out. Now, so same concept here also. So this is your main door. So this is your main door. That means your dispatcher servlet. Okay, and from this door, all requests coming and response going out. Okay, so this is the only door for the Spring MVC. Okay, now whenever request came, so this will be the get by dispatcher servlet. So dispatcher servlet acting as a front controller. What is it? It is a front controller. We are calling to the dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet is a front controller. Let me expand it. Dispatcher servlet is a front controller. Front controller. Okay. So what is the dispatcher servlet? So dispatcher servlet is a front controller acting as a front controller, and from this door, so all request passes to the controller. Now let's see. Suppose request is came to the dispatcher servlet. Then what is the responsibility of the dispatcher servlet? First, it will resolve the controller. Okay, for which controller that request came. Okay, so to resolve the controller, so this dispatcher servlet transfer this request to the handler mapper. Okay, and once that controller handler mapper is responsible to resolve this controller, and once this controller get resolved, then handler mapper return that to the dispatcher servlet, and dispatcher servlet directly hit that controller or send that request to the controller. Now from the controller side, that request get processed, and whatever response will get generated, it will return or it will bind the data. Whatever response will be there, so that response will get bind with the model and view. So this is your model and view object that returned by controller. Okay, with your response and with your view. So what controller did? Controller processed that request and whatever processed data will be there, so that data append with your model and view object. Okay, and it will append the view name as well. View name nothing but your HTML or JSP pages. Okay, so you want to where you want to display and what you want to display. So these two things it will append with this model and view. So model is nothing but you what you want to display. Okay, and view is nothing but where you want to display. Okay, on that on which page you want to display it. So these two question will be covered here, that is model and by using the model and view here. So that model and view objects return to the dispatcher servlet by the controller. Now what does this dispatcher servlet do here? So dispatcher servlet get only view name and transfer that view name to the view resolver. Now what is the responsibility of the view resolver? View resolver will create the complete, okay, complete path of that view resolver. Suppose controller send the home, I want to display this model on a home page. Okay, home.jsp page. Now controller will return only home here. Then dispatcher servlet to resolve that home view name. This will dispatcher servlet send it to the view resolver. Then view resolver return the complete path of the home page, like web-INF slash view slash home.jsp. Something like path will get returned to the dispatcher servlet, and then dispatcher servlet is like append that model on that view and render that view to the client browser. Okay, to the client. So this is the process. Okay, this is the process. What is the main door here? The main door is the dispatcher servlet. From here all requests get redirected. Okay, so that is the flow of a spring web mvc. Now in the next part we are going to see, or we are going to create one demo application. Okay, we are going to create one demo application where I'll be going to show you how this dispatcher servlet will get configured, then how we can configure the view resolver, how we can configure the handler mapper, then how we can display the view, how we can use the model and view object. So these all things I'll be going to cover in a next point. Let's start that here. Now this is the project, like create step to create the spring mvc application. So just guys follow this step one by one and side by side what I'm doing. So just refer my video here. Okay, now what is the first step here? So create and set up your project with maven. Use the required archetype to get required folder. So what is the meaning of archetype? So this archetype is a nothing but like one of the project. Okay, and which is used to download your required folder directory. Suppose you are using this maven archetype web application web app. So this archetype will like download required, okay, required directory for web app. Okay, for web app there are other archetype as well, like quick start will be there. Okay, then there are other as well, so I don't have, but I only use the quick start and web app. So these two are used to generate the required directory for your application. Suppose I am going to create a web application, then whatever web directory required for the web app, so this will be created automatically created by this archetype. So that is the main purpose of an archetype here. So that's why I mentioned here maven use the required archetype to get your required folder directory. Now let's create one project here. Guys, let me open the IntelliJ. So I'm going to use here IntelliJ. So you can use Eclipse will be there. You can use the STS. So this all IDE you can like IDEs you can use, but I have IntelliJ like here, and I'll be going to use that. Now let me open here. Okay, so when you go to the new project, okay, then click on a maven here, and as I mentioned, archetype, we have to select the archetype. Now let me select the create from archetype. When I check this box, then the other options are visible for me, then I can select those. Okay, without that I cannot select that. So see, these are the archetype. Maven archetype web start will be there, and Maven archetype web application. Okay, let me click on here, let me next. Now let's give the name like a spring hyphen mvc demo. Okay, so this is the application name I'll be going to give. Now let me change the group id. Group id is nothing but your package name, guys. Don't get confused with this group id. And archive, like that artifact id is nothing but your project name. So please keep these two things in mind, because always people are getting confused with this group id and artifact id. Okay, don't get confused. Let me add the group id here, com.spring.mvc. okay, so this is my group id, this is my artifact id, and this is the version of a project. Now let me click on a next, let me click on a finished. Okay, now my project getting like dumped here. Now if you can see here, the scanning the indexes, then all things getting started. So if you can see that maven plugin will get installing started. So if you can see this pom.xml generating started. So these all things will be done by the maven here. Maven is responsible to download and all things. See, one by one file getting added. So let it will take time to generate this structure. Let it generate. Okay. Now if you can see here in a left side panel, so you will get the project explorer. So where you can see the project directories. Okay, for a web app, whatever directory is required, so this will be downloaded by the that particular archetype. Okay, now you can see your project here completely. SRC will be there, main will be there. Then under the main, you can see the web app, web-INF. Under the web-INF, this is a web.xml file. So where we are going to configure your front controller. Now this is the index dot. Now let's configure this. Let's see the next step. What is the next step? Let me. Now what it is saying like configure the server with your project. So let's start the configuring the server here. Now to configure the server in IntelliJ, so first we have to install, or we need a Tomcat server in your local. If you have, then and then only we can configure it. So before going ahead, like you have to install that, or you have to like get a support or setup of the Tomcat here. Then and then only we can do that. Okay. Now let me add a new run configuration here. So if you create here like add to new run configuration, let's go down, and if you can see here Tomcat server, under the Tomcat server, so you have to click on a local. Now this is the version 9.0.30 will be there. Now this is a port where your application getting started. This is a port. Okay, then this is a default browser. You can select other as well, Chrome and all things. So as per your need, I am going to select this default. Okay, now let me select this one, Chrome. Now this is a port one which like our server get started. So these are the basic configuration, guys. So you just have to keep in mind all these things. Let's do that. Now let's add the our spring MVC demo project into the server. Let me right click here and just click on artifacts. So add this MVC war exploded. and click on OK. Our project getting added. Now start your server, and once your server getting started, you have to deploy your application on a server. So let me show you how we can let it start first. Now you can see your log getting printed, but the project is not deployed on your server. So let me right click on here. Okay, let me right click on here and just click on a deploy. Now you can see this project has been deployed on your server and your default browser getting started. See, and your project getting started. It is printed hello world. You can see here. Now let's go back and let's see the next step. So we are able to configure our server. We have started our project as well, and we can see the output as well. Now let's see the another part, third step. So add these two dependencies in your pom.xml file. So what are that? First one is to develop the web MVC application. So we require this web MVC dependency, and to get the support of a dispatcher servlet, that means front controller, we require this Java X servlet. Okay, so let me add both of this in our project. Okay, let me open the pom.xml file here. Now there is a dependencies section where you have to paste these two one. Okay, I paste it. Now just reload the maven. Let me go here. Let me change the browser setting as a default because I don't want to display it on a Chrome. Okay, our dependencies get downloaded now. Okay, so we completed the third step here. Let's jump to the fourth step, what it is. Now the fourth step is to configure the web.xml, okay, or to configure the dispatcher servlet. So this is a web.xml file content. Let me copy this. For a time being, I'm going to use this already pasted code. Let me open the web.xml and I'll be going to explain you what it is. Now see, so mainly the web.xml file, the parent tag is a web.app, web-app. Okay. Under that we configure the XSD. So this is required for us. Okay. Apart from that, we can see here like I have mentioned a two tag here. One is a servlet and another one is a servlet mapping. Okay. Now here inside the servlet tag and inside the servlet mapping, what I did in a servlet, I added the servlet name, okay, and servlet class. So we have to mention this servlet class here, that is nothing but your dispatcher servlet. And as I explain you, so this dispatcher servlet is your front controller, correct? Okay, and this is the name of your servlet, correct? So by using this name we can map our request to that dispatcher servlet, correct? Now if you can see here, I have added the servlet mapping tag as well. Now here I have mapped that servlet here, correct? If you can see the servlet name, I declared one servlet here, okay, and I mapped that servlet to the every request. So how we can say the every request, because I added the slash redirect, that forward slash redirect the or take the every request and it redirect to the that particular dispatcher servlet, correct? So this is the web.xml file, correct? Now let's come to the next step here. We configure the web.xml file in web-INF folder. Now let me go to the next step. Okay, now go to the src main web app web-INF and create the XML file. Now, what is that XML file? That XML file is like nothing but your bean.xml file. Actually, Spring configuration file where we are declaring some Spring related coding, some Spring related things like some packages and all things. So, this kind of things we are going to declare inside the bean.xml file. Now, see, there is one format wherever you are going to declare that Spring configuration file in your web-MVC application, then you have to follow the syntax of that file. And what is the syntax here? First is a file name. File name nothing but your, let me change it, servlet name. Whatever servlet name we have configured in web.xml file, that servlet name you have to add here, then hyphen, then servlet. So this is the format you have to keep in your mind. Let me create that file first. Let's create. So what is the outer folder here? Web.inf here. So if you can check here, it is saying under the web.inf create the XML file. Correct. Now let me right click on this project, new, and just click on a Spring config. Okay. So let me review that process. See, if you can click on a new, then you can go here XML configuration files. Under this we got the three files, three options. So you have to select this Spring config and just add the name. What I give here, that servlet name. Then what is the servlet name here? Servlet is a, this is the servlet. Viewer, viewer, like view resolver dispatcher servlet. Okay, view resolver dispatcher servlet. Right click here, click on a configuration, click on here, hyphen servlet. Okay, now I clicked. Okay, let's see whether it is correct or not. Servlet. Okay, fine. Servlet. Okay, now we created the view resolver dispatcher servlet. So what is the view resolver dispatcher? This is your servlet name which is configured in web.xml file. Correct. So that same name we have to prefix with your Spring file, Spring config file. Now let's paste the here this all things. Let me just keep all this thing. Now let me remove this duplicate one. Okay, let me add the, so see, let's talk about this. What is it? So this is the component scan. So what does it, like what is the main intention behind it? So it will scan the given package classes. Suppose I created some classes and I want to scan it by the Spring. Okay, scan it by the Spring and manage it by the Spring. In that case, I'll be going to give the base package path. Okay, now I'm going to create this path here. Okay, let me click on the main. Let me here write and create a Java directory. Under that we can place our all classes. Like give me the package name. Give the same com.spring.mvc, com.spring.mvc here, and under that let's create the one class. That name is my controller. Oh, sorry, I mistaken to that. Okay, my controller. Okay, controller. Sorry, something will be there. Okay, now I have created my controller. Let's annotate that controller with @controller annotation. This is a stereotype annotation, so which is used to declare our class to the controller. And then what is the main intention of the controller? Controller is used to process the request, incoming request. Okay, what is the use of a controller? Controller are used to process our incoming requests. Okay, now here I have created the controller here, dispatcher, servlet, web-INF. So these all things done now. So we have scanned that controller inside the dispatcher servlet spring config file. So by using the this tag context colon component scan. So this will the scan the all classes under the this base package. Okay, and create the bean cycle for those classes as well. Correct. Let's go to the next step. Okay, now so these are the this is the 6 and 7. I'll be going to discuss it later. First let me execute the application. Okay, first let me execute the application with some data. Now here what I did, what I'll do, I'll create one controller method, so which is return the view. Okay, let me request mapping. So this is the home, this will return the home page. Okay, public string get home and return the. Okay, and let me create the view name here. Okay, as I mentioned here, actually spring dot and okay, let me go here, create the view under the main dot web app dot web-inf. Okay, let me create the same folder under the web-inf. Okay, let me create the view folder directory views. Under that create the home.jsp page. Yeah, take this one, home.jsp. Let's add one title here like I am in or welcome in home page. Okay, so this is my JSP home.jsp page. Okay, now I am returning it from the controller. Like how I return it from the controller, like web-inf. So this comes under the or this reside under the web-inf. Correct. Web-inf slash, let's give the views. Okay, and let's give the home.jsp. Now when I hit the slash home, then that home page get rendered on your client. Okay, client is nothing but your browser. Let me redeploy the project. Okay, the redeployment has been started now and our project getting redeployed. See, it's a buffering now. Let it redeploy completely. Yeah, now our project getting redeployed. Okay, let me go to the browser. Okay, let me restart my application first, because we have to restart the server here, then I think it will work maybe. Yes, connected to server, fine, the artifact has been deployed. See, our index.html file getting rendered here, sorry, index.jsp file getting rendered here, because inside this we added the hello world. Correct, hello world we can see on a browser. This is our client. Now what I want to render this content, welcome to in home page. Then what I can do, I can just press the home. See, welcome in the home page. correct, our home page started getting on a, okay, started rendering on your web page or web or browser, we can say. Okay, now what I want, instead of giving the, see, I'm doing, I'm returning the complete path. I don't want to return this complete path of this page. When I entered, I want to give this responsibility to view resolver. To when I return the home, then that view resolver will, if you can see here, so this diagram, so this view resolver is responsible to resolve the view. Okay, then what I did, I configure the prefix and suffix. So this is the prefix I configured somewhere, and this is a suffix I configured somewhere. So I don't want to pass this whole or complete path. I want to configure this part somewhere and this part somewhere. Then only I can pass this home. Now how I can configure? So in Spring configuration file, so there is an internal resource view resolver. We have to, like, we have to create one bean inside the Spring configuration file. So here, okay, so I have code with me. Let me just go copy and paste it. Okay, now I have configured the internal resource view resolver. So this will do what this will do. This will append the prefix. Okay, this will append the prefix with your home, and what it will do, suppose I return the only home here, then internally that internal resource view resolver append the this part with your home as a prefix and attach your home, and again this suffix will get attached after your home. Okay, so this is the complete path written to the dispatcher servlet, and dispatcher servlet will render this view properly to the client. Let me redeploy the jar and again reheat the request. Let it, yeah, now you can see. See, suppose what I did, I will return something else. I will return the one. See, is that file is available, home.1. Home1 is file, home1 file is not available in given prefix path. So that view, under the view, we have home.jsp. We don't have home1.jsp here. Okay, now let me hit the request. See, HTTP tells 4 not found, not found. Okay, that it, you can see the message. So this home.1 is not found. This origin server did not find. Okay, we have to return the proper. Let me redeploy it again and again show you. Correct. So let's refresh now. Yeah, now you can see the exact thing. Correct. Now let me return the model and view object, like model and view object. Same thing I'll do with the model and view. Return the model and view dot set view name. Just set this home inside the model and view. Nothing you have to do. Just return it to the dispatcher servlet. Redeploy your server, sorry, redeploy your application. Now, once you redeployed it, let's hit the same URL again. See, your page has been rendered properly. Suppose I gave the wrong name and again redeploy the application. What happened? Let's see. It will throw an error. same error, that 404 error. Exactly, we got it like before that. Okay, see, 404. HTTP error 404 not found here. Correct. So same where we got. So, so same thing we are doing by passing the by returning the string as a view name and by returning the model and view. So if you want to send any data to the like any data to the like any view pages, in that case you can pass the you can set the data or view, you can set the model. See, set model, set view, set view name. So these all details you can set. Yeah, see, so this you can use add object. So this contains the key value. Okay, key is nothing but your like you can use the key to access this object. Okay, so these two values, like suppose I'm going to pass okay Sam, and I'm going to pass another attribute value as a okay. Okay, and let me try access at the home page by using the string interpolation. Not sure whether it is getting accessed or not. Now let me print the SAM here, redeploy the same thing. Okay, let me hit it. Oh, it is not getting rendered because we have to add a support of JSTL library. Then and then only we can see the things. Okay, so that's all, guys. So this is the uh, things. Like I discussed a few points about the Spring MVC. What is Spring MVC? Then flow I discussed, and I have created one basic demo application step by step. I have added this step here, and I'll add this step into the description as well in this video. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye.